Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to this week's episode of What Happened in the DSE. My name is Isa Omari and I'll be taking you through what happened in the equities market, the Treasury bond market, and the corporate bond market. Beginning with the weekly top movers. Now, these are the companies which shares were traded the most during the week. And we need to start by understanding or knowing the total volume of shares that were traded during the week. And this was 686 and 39 shares. So at number one, we have CRDB, and these contributed to 57% of the total number of shares that you traded. And if we take a quick look at the graph over here, we see that Monday is the day that had the most trades of CRDB shares. And at number two, we have NMB, which contributed to 23% of the total number of shares traded during the week. And Thursday was the day that had the most shares which are traded. And now at number three, we have YASU. And so YASU shares had contributed to 14% of the total volume or the total number of shares that were traded during the week. Okay, now moving on to our table that shows us the specific price changes for companies during the week. We'll notice that on Monday, all of the companies that experienced changes had experienced a decline. So we have CRDB, we have YASU, and we also have NMG. Now, when you go to Tuesday, we'll notice that YASU prices actually went up. And if you look at Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well, YASU had still been increasing last week. Now, the thing with YASU is that it's just playing with our hearts. You know what I'm saying? It's very active, it's very volatile, and for some people, yes, that could be a bad thing, but if you ask me, I think it's great that YASU is doing as much as it's doing, because it's keeping our markets very active, and that's a great thing. For the rest of the days, all the other companies that experienced changes in their share prices were all cross-listed companies from the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Over here we have a table showing us the closing prices of all the companies that have been listed on Friday, just so everybody can have a perspective for when we start trading this week. Moving over to Treasury bonds, the total amount of Treasury bonds traded during the week were 55.81 billion, and this graph shows us the daily amounts that were traded during the week. We also have our auction results for the 10-year Treasury bond, which was auctioned on the 29th of September. As you can see here, it was undersubscribed once again by 78 billion, and the minimum successful price to go through was 96.6300. And we also have our corporate bonds. The total amount of corporate bonds which were traded during the week were 4.63 million, and this was only on Friday, as from Monday to Thursday there were no corporate bonds which were traded. Okay, now finishing up, we have a markets calendar here where we'll basically be telling you about all the events that are upcoming. And the first thing that we see is that on the 15th of October, we have Vodacom, which is having its 5th annual general meeting, and it will be held virtually. And we also have a tender that is upcoming for a 15-year Treasury bond. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I hope this video has been informative and insightful and has brought value to you. Now, please feel free to interact with A Trader in any of our social media platforms and contact us in case of any other questions. Have a great week ahead, and karibuni sana.